This is The Unstarving Musician. I am your host, Robonzo. This podcast features conversations with indie music artists and industry professionals and me, all intended to help independent music artists better understand the marketing, business, and creative processes that empower us to do more of what we love. Make music. Happy New Year! 2021, we made it. Although there is still a tough road ahead, I'm looking forward to it. Many have said, fuck 2020. Maybe you're one of them. I don't feel that way for some reason. And it wasn't an easy year for me. I lost a couple of close friends to cancer, and a couple of other friends became very ill with COVID. A third friend became very ill and turned out to be a long hauler, so that sucked. So yeah, it wasn't an easy year. I know some of you lost people close to you, and you know people that have gotten sick. So yeah, I'm not denying 2020 was a tough year. My wife and I and our immediate family have been lucky, and I kept thinking last year, we're here to see another day. As my Chilean friend Dagny says, with her endearing English as a second language accent, it's okay. So here we go. But before we go, I would like you to please help other independent musicians and indie music fans find this podcast by subscribing on your favorite podcast service. That is, if you enjoy this podcast. If you love it, if you love this podcast, please consider supporting it by joining the Unstarving Musician community. You can do so by visiting unstarvingmusician.com. It's free to sign up, and as part of the community, you will receive occasional emails from me with tips and insights for your music journey. And it's not just me giving you tips and insights based only on my many years of experience as a gigging musician, but also stuff I'm learning from the now hundreds of songwriters, musicians, and industry professionals that I speak with as part of this podcast. And I'll also fill you in on the latest and upcoming episodes of this podcast. If you'd like to become a producer sponsor of the show, up your support game, visit unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor for more info about exclusive producer sponsor content and perks. So yeah, here we go. Today, as you are hearing this, which is January 8th if you're hearing it on the day of this episode release, my new single, my first ever single, On Top of the World, was released today on all the digital platforms. So as of today, you can find it just about anywhere. And thanks to the many of you who pre-saved it, thanks to Chris Responti and Steve Strom, who performed on it with me, and Chris, who mixed and mastered the track and basically helped bring the song to life. Those guys are great, phenomenal musicians, and fun to work with. Look forward to working with them some more. I already have been. The conversation with this episode's featured guest, that featured guest is Lara Price. It's a discussion about my song and some other stuff. Lara is an amazing singer, performer, and songwriter. We've been acquainted for about 18 years. I can't believe it. We met in the Silicon Valley, and she's now based in Austin, Texas. Okay, but before we get to Lara, it is a new year, right? So many of us are saying thank God for that. Some of you still may not have your artist or band website, or the one you have kind of sucks. This is the year, if that is the case, that you should let Bandzoogle help you create a beautiful website that's unique to your music. It really is the easiest all-in-one platform for pro musicians and band websites. And Bandzoogle features selling tools that enable selling directly to fans with no commissions. Bandzoogle also helps you see how fans are using your site with interactive visitor reports. And with Bandzoogle, you don't have to worry about software updates. You can just focus on your music. You'll get a fast, reliable website with Bandzoogle with best-in-class hosting technology and fantastic customer support. My artist website is on Bandzoogle, and I love it. But see for yourself. Go to bandzoogle.com to start your 30-day free trial. Use the promo code Robonzo to get 15% off your first year. Again, go to bandzoogle.com and use the promo code Robonzo, ROBONZO, to start your free trial today. So yeah, I asked Lara and a couple of other friends who are songwriters to record an interview with me in a format that would have them interviewing me about my song. And it was an experiment that brought forth some really nice conversation, and this is one of them. It was an experiment for me to create some content to help you guys learn about the song and just kind of do that whole creating buzz around it, right? So we do talk about On Top of the World, my new single. We talk about publishing, the marketing components of creating music and releasing a song, the importance of sync, placement, licensing, my plans for a video. We also talk about collaboration and collaborating. That's an exciting prospect for me, collaborating with Lara Price, possibly. We'll see. The art of storytelling is something we also cover, and creating a bridge, a musical bridge. Lara confessed she loves a good bridge, and she had nice things to say about the bridge in my song, so made me feel good. Lara shares many of her own experiences and thoughts, and we talk about several other topics that are basically informative and inspiring discussion. So I hope you enjoy. Oh yeah, and don't forget to go to Spotify or iTunes or wherever you listen to your digital music to check out my new song, On Top of the World by me, Robonzo. All right, here is me and Lara Price.
So I was reading your email, and you would like me to interview you about your new song, right?
Yeah, I had this idea that I could use it for audio clip content for the release.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, it's really good, and your singing sounds excellent.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, just since we're talking about that, have you taken any voice lessons?
No, you're on my next list. You know, I had one. Sorry, I had one before I retracked the vocals.
Nice.
I think I helped a little bit, but by that point I was just so close to wanting to get it done, and I thought basically when I retracked them, I thought it's really not that much better. I just fixed a couple of tiny little things, which maybe that's what it's about.
That's
sometimes.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And who did the harmonies?
Those are
like you either use it a falsetto or a female.
No, you know what those are? It's me. It's my voice.
Awesome.
So the bass player who put the bass on there, he sent me back some backing vocal ideas, and it was two harmonies and a 2-part harmony, and I guess that makes it 3-part, right? And they sounded nice, but there was something about them that sounded odd. I couldn't figure it out. One of them was explained when he explained to me that it wasn't him singing. He took my voice and I guess pitch changed them.
And made it happen.
Yeah. Now, there was always something else that was bugging me, and I wasn't sure what it was. I'd have to look at an old message from Chris Responti, who did the mixing on
the engineer.
Yeah. He said, I finally figured out why this was bugging me. And by the way, I decided I was going to go ahead and sing a 1-part harmony. That's a 2-part,
just like
right?
a third above type thing.
Yeah. I was going to sing the higher one.
Yeah.
But we were getting, I wanted to get it finished, and the track I sent him was distorted. So I think I'd overdriven it. So he already had the manufactured one. And he said, you know what, I think I can make this sound really good. But he said, I figured out what was bugging me. So the lower one was conflicting with a chord he was playing. And he explained it like a music theorist would. And I'm like, oh, wow. I knew something was bugging me a little bit, but I would have never figured that out. I probably would have just said, I guess if somebody told me it sounded good, like my wife liked them both. And, Steve.
It was a voicing issue then.
Yeah. Steve, actually, the bass player who did the tracks, he's got a great ear, and he's very good with theory, and it didn't even occur to him. So so it sounds good like that to me.
Yeah, I didn't notice any issues.
Well, he just didn't use the lower part, and it was resolved.
Yeah, there you go. Done.
Yeah,
I love that. So were all your tracks flown in digital?
Metaphorically, yeah, that's a good one. So I did the drums live here right behind my screen.
Cool.
and the vocals. And I did the original acoustic demo here. Sent that to Chris Responti and asked him if he'd play the guitars for me.
Cool.
And I knew that he could I knew he could mix it. And so we kind of hit that impasse. Impasse. We talked about that as we went along. So yeah, he did that. And then I was going to use another friend that lives in Arlington, Texas, close to Chris, that I played with a lot. And he's a great musician. But we just had timing issues and some family things were going on with him. So I called on my other buddy, who I didn't even know was able to record at home. I wasn't sure. But consequently, the one who ended up playing bass, he had sent me some stuff and said, hey, would you be interested in putting some drums on this? I'm like, you're recording at home.
Perfect.
I can add, yeah.
Yeah. So you did a swap?
Yep. So
nice.
So, yeah, and Steve and Chris have never even met, to my knowledge. I never met. So.
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, love that. How do you know these guys then? Just from are they both Texans?
Steve Strom's a Bay Area guy, so I played a bunch of gigs with him. He's the bass player for House Rockers, the Silicon Valley House Rockers. So
I might know some of those people.
Yeah, probably so. And then Chris Responti, I actually he was my first podcast guest. And the reason I asked him on was I was looking for someone I knew to, try this out on. And I had been invited when we were visiting Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, to participate in this Christmas holiday, multi-musician thing at Broncos sports bar there. It was really fun. I got to see a lot of great musicians, got to play with several of them. And I saw this guy, Chris Responti, and he just blew me away. And then I learned, that he played guitar on the theme track for True Blood and worked with that guy, that recording artist, and a lot of people in Nashville and some other guys that I knew. So yeah, that's
wow, that's cool. So this is your first song?
Yeah, is
this the song that we were talking about last time?
Yeah.
All right, way to go!
Thank you. Yeah. That's
a big deal.
It is. Yeah, thank you. I was telling someone yesterday that it's been more than 20 years. I wrote lyrics to 2 songs that got demoed, but never did anything with them. And that was the end of that. I never did it again. And in fact, I also was playing a little bit of guitar back then and had a lovely Takamine 12-string for the better part of 2 decades, which was in California with me, came from Texas to California, but I left in California. I sold it. And then a friend here knew I was interested in playing again, and he basically gave me one of his guitars. He fixed up it's a nondescript instrument, but he fixed it up for me. I put a pickup in it and started doing some gigs around here with it. So I've only been back on the guitar for less than a couple of years, but it gave me enough to write a song.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What was the inspiration for it? On Top of the World.
Yeah. I just early this year, believe it or not, before the plague, I decided I wanted to start recording. I'd been putting it out there for a really long time and thinking about it forever. So I went to work with some of my friends. So I bought some gear. So this is my first foray in recording too at home. And I'd been playing guitar, and I also decided early in the year, probably sometime late last year, that I want to start writing music. And that's why I'm playing guitar again, right? And so I think around January, February, I just had been sitting down with the guitar a couple different nights and came up with this riff that I liked and worked through an arrangement eventually. And I had been writing at a workshop at a place called Tranquilo Retreat here close to me. It's a really special place. I love going there to write prose.
Really?
Basically, it's a fiction writer's workshop, but the person who runs it knows I'm a musician and knew I had songwriting aspirations. So whenever we talked about what I was writing, she has always talked about it in the perspective of a song.
Nice.
And so I had a short list of, less than a dozen pieces I'd worked on that were just sitting around. So I went and looked for one of them and said, this is the one. And so I started using that for the basis of the lyrics.
So, do you want to talk about the song a little bit, or would you like your fans to put their own story together?
We can.
You do mention she's acutely aware, and And then you kind of end the song with this kind of hanging question, what's that about?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah. Somebody told me, I don't think I've ever heard a song use the word compartmentalize.
Could be the first for me too.
Maybe for me, I couldn't think of one. I'm trying to think of the origin of the story, but I'd been doing some reading. I know it came from there and the writer's workshop, and I imagined a person who was, it's probably pretty evident from the lyrics, this person is kind of struggling to answer that question, when they did have a moment like that. And
counterclockwise.
Yeah. So the image that I'm trying to paint at the beginning is sitting in a room of people that are, going around like a group therapy room. And the question has been posed, and it's coming around. And so that's where it begins. And On Top of the World was a natural chorus for me. So I went to that. And yeah, from there, I guess I was just trying to paint a picture of that room, that situation, and then also eventually the personality of the person. And the reference to color and music is something I thought about. I heard a long time ago about Sarah McLachlan, and I've since read of other people who see colors when they make music, and actually have had a podcast
Pharrell.
guest. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually a word for that.
Yes.
When you see, and
it's in one of my podcast episodes. I forget.
Syllables.
Yeah. There's a guy in Austin actually who I asked him about the name of he calls it shape scenes, but that's not the word, but he told me he has it. So that's what that's a reference to. And the compartmentalizing was just an escape thing with her art. Yeah. Let's see. Synesthesia. Yes. One of those big words.
I could be messing that up. Yeah.
Something like that. That sounds familiar. I would have never remembered it. I think it's in my podcast post for that episode. Maybe I would have found it there, but yeah. So that's what that was about.
Wow. They can see colors without dropping acid. Good for them.
Right.
Dang it. Can we, maybe that could be part of the vaccine, where they add that kind of component in there. Hey man, can you guys make it so that one, I do more sit-ups, and two, when I listen and do music, I actually see color. That's what I would like in the vaccine.
That sounds super fun. I mean, I've never heard anything to the contrary, but it sounds like a gift, that I wouldn't mind having.
I know. What is that like?
Yeah.
And then
it's like looking at the background of your Zoom.
Right. Yeah. And here's the thing: if it's really dark music, is it dark colors? Like if it's some scary movie, dark with the a really dark theme, would it be?
That's a great question. I always imagined it was something that's based on melody that drives the colors.
You know what? You just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. Hey, if you have this and you're a musician, I would like to interview you.
There's a guy local to you. I'm gonna send you his name.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to also know what your
intention for the song is. Well, this is first, like you said.
Yeah.
So
world premiere.
Yeah, exactly. I'm now working on a video for it, which
perfect.
Sadly that feels like starting all over, and I have to create this other thing. I have a videographer, a local guy that's done some music videos. I love his work. And I had this thing in my mind when I asked him. He was going to be all like into collaborating with me, but he's basically left me to do that, and he's waiting for me to, I cast one person to be in it. I'll be in the intro of it if it all works out as I've scripted.
Playing drums or guitar or both?
No, none. No instrument, no performance in the video.
Being a person.
Yeah, just at the beginning, and then I'll have a young woman in there for the rest of it, and. So yeah, it's just like, oh wow, I'm trying to do something a little cinematic, and it's that's. Do you have
a storyboard? Project.
I have a script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you with a video. I've never done a video.
Really?
I don't think so. I think I've been in videos.
Yeah.
People's music videos, but I've never done my own video.
That surprises me.
Well, no, I guess that's not true. I guess I do little mini videos all the time, but not like with script. And if people were in it, they didn't know they were in it.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy I've had on, and several people I've had on do this, but there's this one guy I think of a lot because he does these great videos. He's based in Oak Cliff. I think I might have talked about him once with you, but he has all these people in his videos, and I'm like, how do you pay those people? He goes, oh, they don't get paid. He goes, I pay one friends. Guy. Yeah, I pay one guy
to shoot.
But he talked about how he does that, and I thought, well, yeah, who has? I'm thinking like, I didn't even think that. I'm like, sure, you have a bunch of friends, but are they going to all come hang out with you for a day or two to do this? Mm-hmm. But anyway, he just talked about how that works, and I always remember that. So I'm not going to have so many people, so that will be good. But I guess the point of mentioning him is he does these great videos. And, when I started thinking of people to talk to, yourself included, about, what do I do to release this thing, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I've never had much luck without a video. And I was thinking I was going to do one anyway. So yeah.
Are you going to do Vimeo, YouTube? Did you
get another platform? I haven't even gotten that far.
Okay.
That's a great question. I
would recommend both.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you shopped around any kind of distribution, or are you just going to do a one-off or like an EP?
Something interesting happened when I shared it with a friend who's been in the business a long time. He had some fame and fortune as in a band, and he's just a short time into his own solo career, but he has a label venture. He's partnering with a good sized label, and he heard it and said, do an album and I'll put it out on my label. I'm like, really?
That's nice.
Yeah. So I'll at least try and do a half a dozen tunes, but my intention is to do 10. So
does he have people in his wheelhouse that he would be sending that to? Because that's the record deal that I had. It really was more distribution. So they had the list of radio stations and festivals. They weren't trying to shop me as to get a gig, but just to play it.
Yeah.
So hopefully your friend has that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I he owes me a call when he has time, but I said, can we talk a little bit so I can understand what this means, because this is all new to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for sharing that, because I assume yes, but hey, I don't know what he's getting into.
Being on a label doesn't mean what it used to.
Yeah, well, and I've gathered that much.
It does help.
Sure. Yeah.
It's helped me. And
I know. I know that. I think it's a partnership with the same label he's used, but I know that they do that stuff for him. So I presume that that's kind of the model he would be doing. But beyond that, I haven't set myself on the digital distribution aspect of it, but I thought I should probably do that pretty soon. I realized I don't know what the lead time is for doing that yet.
Bmi Ascap, have you registered it?
No.
Yeah, this is the stuff that I'm not a fan of when it comes to writing, releasing a record, is all this stuff. It's not my favorite, but you have to do it.
I mean, all I've done is copywritten it, but yeah.
Yeah. And you'll get paid if it gets played. So that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Thank you. Well, educational.
Yeah. Like I just received a check for like $100. I get like $100 check every month for people downloading my stuff, and it's like at 0.01 cents, but whatever, it's $100 later.
Yeah, sure. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So get it on Spotify, get it played on Pandora, make sure it's on iTunes. Everyone's big thing now is Bandcamp. Have you heard that one?
Yeah. We talked about it very briefly last time.
Okay. I think I need to get on that train too. Maybe I can sell some of my older records, because it's like just suggest your own price, right?
That's an option, yeah.
Yeah, I would do that for my older stuff for sure.
Yeah, they have
it just gets the music out there, like whatever,
Totally. It's like they say about podcasting: have it in as many places as you can. So
your Nashville friend, you need to pick her brain about getting it into some kind of songwriting group, so that you can submit it for like movies or TV or whatever. Yeah, that's definitely on my laundry list, and I very intentionally had a lyric list. I have all the tracks for it, so that's so that I got two mixes of it, two final mixes, one without the lyrics for that reason. So. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, you write a song and then then the work actually begins.
Exactly. And here I am with the, decided I need to do a video. I'm like, fuck, it
Oh,
feels like I'm doing another song.
it's heavy. That's a heavy load. I mean, like a video. That's why I do my own videos, and they're not produced like what you're doing. So that's kind of exciting, though.
It is. I haven't told anyone this. I imagine my wife might know because I've trash talked about it, but I've always kind of had this fantasy of doing some sort of independent film work. So maybe just go and get my feet wet with a music video.
Yeah.
But
hey, if you're an artist, you're an artist. You
yes,
dip your toes in all kinds of creative ventures.
Right. I wouldn't be the first who didn't know anything about it to try it.
Right. Well,
for sure.
Yeah. You can pick the brains of all your friends that do know.
Exactly. So, yeah. When are you going to record another song?
I know. I've been on this weird thing where it's like, it takes me 5 years to record a record. I don't
life,
know,
man. That's life. That reminds me. And this is not a question to answer, but just something I was going to throw out there. But, one of the things I thought in trying to put together 10 songs is I should probably look at, collaborating with some people. And I would love to do a blues tune. And you came to mind in terms of perhaps penning some melody for me for that and working with on it. Sure. So anyway, keep in the back of your mind. And if it's something of interest.
If you had some kind of, chord progression or, some kind of thing, what I've been doing, and I can't remember if I told you, so I apologize, is that I've been working with already baked in tracks in GarageBand. Basically already written songs, chord progressions and whatnot, but you can change like the instrumentation. You can have an acoustic guitar versus a electric guitar, and you can make it yours in that way. So I've been just writing to what's already there. And it's been really good for me to, I've been putting all kinds of backup vocals to the maximus. Cool. Just like itching, that scratch that I have for harmonies.
Yeah.
And
so how does that work when can you take those baked in tracks and actually write something and tool it so that it's an original piece?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've written like 12 of them.
Very nice.
And they're all like under a minute 30. So I call it Lara's mini songs. So to answer your question, the short answer is I do plan on releasing my mini songs. Like this is what happened in COVID, these.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, and they're like all a minute and a half,
Yeah.
And they were written specifically for fans because I really didn't want to write 4 million verses. And, I wanted to keep it to the point. I wanted a bridge in there. I wanted a couple verses and some choruses. That's it. No, we're not going on for 5 minutes on a song. Get to the point. And so, I didn't want to commit myself, if they're paying me $30 a song to like 5 hours worth of work, which it actually became anyway, because I was having fun with it. Yeah. So, like monetarily, it really wasn't paying me, right? But it did help me just kind of have a purpose. And I wrote them for fans about their friends or whatever they told me to do.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I'm saying to you is like, if you have an idea or some kind of thing, then just send it over and I'll see what I can do with it.
Yeah, cool. Well, we'll talk offline about it. And so I know where your sort of comfort zone is in terms of how you write, what you write on.
Process.
Yeah. Just so I know, because like I was imagining, I don't even know, but I imagined you as like, you write songs on piano sometimes, and I didn't.
True.
You do?
True. Yeah. And guitar, but. This I kind of really got into the GarageBand thing because it had so much more that I couldn't do myself, and I'm just not that proficient, And there were some cool things in there, and I guess it's no longer available because I have a super old Mac. So the updated version of GarageBand doesn't even have this feature called Magic GarageBand, but they have 6 different genres to choose from. And infinite amounts of combinations for every genre.
That's interesting.
So there's even a reggae genre that you can like manipulate all the instruments so that it's to whatever you want. Pretty awesome.
There's something else for like, I don't know if this would appeal to you, but maybe it would, and you'd be really good at it, I'm sure. But there's this app called HumTap. It's an AI based app, but what you can do with it. So if you're somebody that doesn't maybe play guitar proficiently, but you have this great melody idea, you literally hum it out, and you can literally, tap the drum progression that you think you want on your desk or whatever, and it records that. And then you, from what I understand, you feed it information like genre and whatever else
I want it to kind of be like this or that. Yeah.
And they give you something back that they think, you're going for with it. Yeah. I mean, basically building a song off your hum. Yeah. So I thought you might like that, and you probably be super good at it because you have the great, melodic voice and, good theory and all that. So yeah, well, you understand how things should, progression should work. So that's a big help. So,
well, I just know what I like to hear. I don't know that it's always good, but I just know that I like songs that have those three pieces in it. And I was really glad to see a bridge in your song.
I love, that's going to be one of the things that's going to be the hardest for me, because I love a certain type of bridge. I love a good bridge. And like, that's the hard part, isn't it? To learn to do those things.
I don't think that it's necessarily the hard part for me. The hard part about the most challenging about a bridge for me is that through my eyes, a bridge holds a lot of tension. Okay. And it resolves in a place that's and it resolves with a chorus usually or usually. And my challenge is always like, lyrically, what do I want to say right there? Because it's so important. It's a key moment in the song that's usually pretty memorable. But that could just be me projecting my love of bridges.
Yeah, it's the way you love them too. Like for me, it was like, okay, I need something that, I don't know, I wanted something that is a little, seems something dramatic to me, Mm-hmm. And I was more focused on trying to find the right melody than I was the lyric, which is not
both. It's both.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Especially if you find a great melody and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a great melody. What am I going to say on that? Yeah. I have one of my mini songs that's mostly written except for the bridge part, because I just can't. I just put it on pause so I could just pontificate on it for a while and let it marinate around.
For the lyric or for the melody?
The lyric.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll change the melody if the lyric allows it. Like, hey, this is a great lyric. Why don't we change the melody to fit that? How can we do that? It's just a puzzle.
Well, my experience on guitar, Lara, is like, I got to find lyrics that fit in this, because I'm not going to come up with a lot of variations. So it worked out, though. Well,
your lyrics are great. I mean, you tell a nice story, and I think what I've learned is just let's tell a story. And before I was just I wasn't really thinking about stuff like that. Maybe I had something to say, but I don't know. I've been songwriting is a lot more fun than it used to be. That's for sure.
That's good. I didn't even focus too much on telling a story, although I know I did, or I hope I did. But I would love to develop the gift of just writing a terribly catchy lyric that can mean so many different things. But maybe I don't know. It's like it's my first one, but maybe I'm just going to be constantly grasping at stories, and that's okay. People like stories, right? And as long as
they love stories.
Yeah. So
they really love stories. I didn't get that till later. Like 5 CDs in, I was like, oh, I should probably maybe tell a story. It's better.
That's one thing I've learned from talking to so many songwriters and that is where I learned it through the podcast. Like, wow, these people are really, there's a lot more storytellers out there than I realized. And it's usually like the, well, in my case, where I learned that from, it was the folk guitar player, or songwriter. Now, I've had this guy on somewhat recently, Matt James with Blacktop Mojo, and they're just a heavy band. And when I listen to their music, I don't usually, it takes me a long time before I ever latch on to any story of a song. I'm usually, even all the lyrics, I'm listening to the melodies and the musicianship. And when I hear their songs, it's like a lot of, aggressive, cool riffs in it. And his vocals are, they're not like, Pantera vocals or anything, but, he's really getting after it.
The rock.
Really getting after it. So I don't know if I haven't talked to him about that, developing stories, but maybe he does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think everybody wants to. I don't know.
In the past, when I've written, it was a lot of vocally driven. Like, what do I want to, what feels good to sing? Because I could sing so many different types of things, and there's certain notes that feel really great in a song, and it's like, okay, what do I want to say right there with that note, or this riff? So a lot of my stuff has been melody driven also. Like your song was more for me, I was paying more attention to like the melody, and like the guitar playing sounds excellent, and those are the things that stood out to me, and how well it was mixed. Like you can break a song with the wrong mix. So kudos to your friend Chris there.
He's amazing. I was already thinking, oh gosh, I hope I can get him for the other ones.
Good
it's
idea, because his mixing style is going to need to be consistent.
Yeah.
So you probably should get the same guy.
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah. I mean, hey, if he can't, well, I don't know. We'll see. I guess it depends on what I send him, right? If he likes it. So we'll see. If he likes it, and I can pay him.
Right.
Right. Oh, I wanted to ask you about singing lessons. Are you still doing them, and how do they work? Because like I was telling you, I've had one, so I don't really know what different people do. We talked about this once. You were asking me. You were asking me about the experience, and I was telling you that I wasn't as well prepared for the the virtual lesson experience. So I killed some time, and that wasn't my fault. I don't think, but how do you do them? I mean, what are they like?
Well, I'm 10 weeks in. I'm glad you're asking me that. I'm 10 weeks into teaching on, Zoom voice lessons, which is incredibly challenging.
Really?
Oh my gosh, because you can't be there. You can't be there to sing together. A lot of my students, we'd sing together, and then I'd take off the training wheels, which would be me, and they would do it. But it's a back and forth. It's a back and forth, basically. When she's singing, I'm not singing. I've managed to make it work. This 10-year-old little girl is learning songs on singing through Zoom somehow, and we've made it work.
That's cool.
So we do like a half hour every week, and we do a warm up, and it's more like I sing and then you sing, I sing and then you sing, and then if I have something to say to improve or critique, some kind of like the way you're singing, then I'll stop and I'll say, well, why don't you try to sing it like this? Or if that's too low, why don't you do that? And so it's just back and forth, and I have a piano at home that I'll either sit in front of, or I'll pull up a digital keyboard on the computer, and we'll do exercises with that so that we can know that we're in pitch. And as far as learning actual songs, it's more about like, well, what do you want to work on, And so in this case for you, I might, listen to this song again and pick out some parts that I think that maybe I could help you with, and I definitely would want to see you sing it so that I can say, hey, okay, so right there, maybe if you open your mouth a little bit more, you can get that note out a little bit stronger if that's what your intention is, So it is highly visual too. So if I can see you doing it, then I can see what your habits are that you've created for yourself, over the years with singing, and there's it's incredibly physical. So that was kind of the long end, but
it's all right.
It is possible.
Yeah,
it is possible. It's
and
not my favorite, but yeah.
Sure. And the young girl, does she have like much special gear, or is she just doing it on an iPad, or?
She's just doing it on her laptop.
Okay.
We don't have special gear. She's actually a foster child, now adopted child.
Oh, you're working through the organization that
the
guy
Kids in
that
a New Groove.
Yeah, Brian Wolf.
Yes.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Yes, Brian Wolf. Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. There. So it's a great program.
That's nice, Laura, that you're doing that.
Just as an adoptee myself, I know I can relate with these kids.
I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a really good match.
Yeah, totally.
And why not?
Sure.
Why not? It gives back as much as it gives to them. So
that's cool.
Being a musician's hard. So, if I had a mentor at 10 years old telling me, yeah, sing, do it, it'd be nice.
Yeah. So. Honestly, I wish I had somebody encouraging me more when I was younger, because I didn't start trying to be more serious about it until maybe the last, when I was in the Bay Area, I was working with people that, had good vocal abilities, and here I am wanting to sing, and, so I had to try and up my game. But then approaching these last couple of years, I'm trying to be more serious about it. And yeah. So certainly wish I'd had it more from the beginning, from long ago. But anyway, never too late.
Yeah, well, if you're interested in voice lessons, I'd be happy to take you on as a student. I don't originally I didn't want to take on a lot of students, even in person, because I didn't want that job of babysitting kids.
Sure.
So I would often take on like an adult, somebody really wants to learn.
Yeah.
So I'd love to work with you, and I'll be happy to do a lesson with you, and you can see what you think.
Cool. Yeah. I want to get better. So
yeah. Well, I was operatically trained, so I can teach you the good stuff.
That's right. That's right. That's a plus.
It saved my ass for like my whole career.
Oh, I bet. And you have a beautiful voice. All right, I'm not going to keep you any longer, and I get to go chat with my heroine for the video for the first time.
Okay.
In a little bit. So yeah.
Did you think you got what you need there?
Yeah, I think I got at least a couple good snippets for sure.
Okay. And, well, if you go through it and you're like, we need to do this again, because you kind of started, bass backwards. There was actually questions I had in store for you, but we did them all out of order.
It's okay. We're too well acquainted.
Well, can't wait to hear it.
Thank you.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Bye. Have a great weekend.
You too. See you later.
Thanks. Bye.
This episode was powered by Bandzoogle, the easiest all-in-one professional website platform for musicians and bands. Two things that will help ensure you're in control of your music business and your fan-based community are a website and an email list. Bandzoogle can help you do both. Plus, a solid website makes you look legitimate. Serious musicians, singers, songwriters, composers, and performers know this to be true. If you don't yet have your own website, check out Bandzoogle. It was created by musicians for musicians. I use it and I love it. It's as easy to use gets, and you don't have to worry about plugin updates and security patches. Bandzoogle takes care of all that for you. The features and support are both incredible. See for yourself. Go to bandzoogle.com to start a 30-day free trial and use the promo code Robonzo to get 15% off your first year. Plans start at just $8.29 a month. That's bandzoogle.com, promo code Robonzo, ROBONZO, to start your free trial today. This episode was powered by Convertkit. I have been a Convertkit user since early 2016, and I really love it for the email marketing aspects of what I do. It's more than just an email marketing company, though. They are focused on landing pages, too, giving beginner creators everything they need to start building their email lists. Their new free plan allows creators to make unlimited landing pages and forms, and you can choose from multiple templates, personalize them with design, include an incentive email, create a thank you page, manage all your subscribers, and of course send broadcast emails. The support is great, and that is important to me. To learn how Convertkit can help you connect with your audience so that you can make a living doing work you love, go to unstarvingmusician.com/convert or the show notes for this episode. Did you know you can help other independent artists find this podcast by subscribing on Apple Podcast or wherever you are listening to your podcast these days? It really does help, so I hope you will consider it. And if you have feedback, please go to unstarvingmusician.com to get all my contact info. You can text me, call me, email me, leave a voice message right there on that page. Just go down to the bottom of the page and you'll find everything you need to know. I really would love to hear any of your comments, suggestions, questions, whatever you've got. And you can find links to just about everything talked about in this episode at unstarvingmusician.com/podcast. All right, I'm peacing out. Thank you for listening and sharing with your musician friends and fellow indie music bands. Peace, gratitude, and a whole lot of love.